The biggest thing I've learned this year so far is sales, 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 and sales. The actual level to entry of how to get started, quit your job and start making money, right? And that's not even the hard part. Starting making money and quitting your job isn't even the hard part. It's the mental challenges that come along the way. Being 23, being Irish, being successful is not easy, because you are a product of the people you surround yourself with. And unless you are with people that are doing better than you, challenging you, trying to level up, you can really slow your progress down so much. So that's, I think, one of the biggest lessons that I've learned so far in 2026. And we're only on the 15th of February, right? So it's literally a month and 15 days into this year. But the biggest thing I've learned this year so far is you need to be around people doing better than you. Like, at this moment in time, my direct exposure, I am the one doing the best. And it means I set the standards. It means people look to me and see, right, okay, if he's not doing it, I don't have to do it. If you're not around people that are doing better than you and seeing how they operate, what it is that they're doing differently to you, right, then you need to be heavily locked the F in, or at least consuming content of people that are better than you. So if you can't put yourself around people that are in positions you want to be in, consume their content and watch what it is that they do differently to you. Mental things, physical things, daily activities, right? What it is that in a day-to-day life they do differently to you. Try embody that next level, because in sales it's all about mindset. It is all about mindset, and the level that you want to get to, whether that's 5k, 10k, boys, 5 and 10k are baby numbers. Whether that's 100k, whether that's a 50k, right? You must embody that first. And it's an identity. Paint a picture of how clear that identity looks like to you. Even if you're just starting off in this space and your goal is 5 or 10, right? Paint the identity so clear that you know how to embody that version of you right away. Right away. Okay? And I mean an identity statement. What does 50k version of you do? What does he wear? How does he act? You know, and when you are doing something, ask yourself, is this something the 50k version of me actually does? Because if it's not, why are you doing it? And if those people that you're hanging around with right now aren't people that will be with you when you're on that journey, or when you're at that point in time, you have to do the hard thing at that moment and step away now. Because you also must be fully aware that you are yet to attract the new people that the new you is going to attract. Because once you increase your vibration, you're going to attract new things, right? Thoughts create your emotions. Emotions create a magnet, and that magnet can attract both negative or positive. And in life, that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. We live in a real life simulator, a real life video game, whatever you want to call it, right? And that whole game, its master controller is your thoughts. Is your thoughts. And I learned this. It took me 23 years to sit down and realize that the master controller to my life is my thoughts. Because I went into work in construction sites for years, you know, thinking that this was it, thinking that, you know, oh, I'm going to start my own electrical business, or I'll be an electrical engineer, or we'll sort something. But when I started being intentful, and I started actually trying to develop my mind and develop my thought process, my operating system, whatever you want to call it, reality started to reflect the internal work that I did. The deeper I looked internally, the more beautiful what I looked at every day actually became. You know, and now coming out, living in Thailand, you're hit with different challenges. There's different types of challenges. There's always fun things to do. There's always people around you that are distracting. Every level has its new set of challenges. And you know, you're going to think that when you quit your job, that's it, you're going to be happy, but you're not. You're not. And the funny thing is, once you get into this world where you're chasing success and you're chasing bigger things, you're always going to want that next thing. And I think that's something a lot of us entrepreneurs, we do struggle to deal with, is how do we become grateful at that moment in time and not look at things through a lens of desire. And the funny thing is as well, it's something we struggle with the most, but looking at things through the lens of lack or through the lens of desire is given that desired reality dick, so it's not going to come to us in an easy manner. But when we look at it like we already have it, that's when it comes to us. We have to be so delusional in our thoughts to just know clearly that the reality that we want is simply attracted to us. Our desires are simply attracted to us. We don't need to want. We don't need to lack. We look at what it is we want and trust that they are going to come our way. They are going to vibrate at the same frequency that we vibrate at. And that's all there is to it. You know, if you're stuck in your 9 to 5 now and you want to break out of that, the number one thing you can do is learn a skill. Starting a business in 2026, why? Learn skills first. And if you decide to start a business, it's going to be a lot easier to start that business when you're no longer in a 9 to 5, when you've got limiting beliefs broken. Because the main thing people are going to try to do to get out of their 9 to 5 is what? Start a business. But if you stack skills, you're going to be more valuable as a businessman, a business owner. You're going to be in rooms where people actually respect and appreciate what you have to bring to the table. And already what you're going to have is limiting beliefs broken. And the number one skill that you can learn is sales. Sales is the engine for every single business. I started off as an appointment setter, and that is simply what took me out of my 9 to 5. Right? But what got you from A to B isn't what's going to get you from B to C. Imposter syndrome can make you feel undeserved, and there's mosquitoes literally all fucking over me. I changed a little bit of scenery, but I was getting ate by mosquitoes down there. But being Irish, being 23, being successful, it ain't easy, fully trust. Like, you might think, you know, he's living the life, he's living this, living that. It's hard. With every level comes new challenges. It's hard. I think that's one of the hardest things I've realized, you know, like stepping into this entrepreneurial world, making a lot of freaking money, everything else that comes with it, you're not taught how to do it. It's all a new process. You know, it's such a desired, you look at everything that you never had before through such a wanting lens. But one thing I'll tell you is when you do hit this stage where you're making over 15,000, you're making 20,000, it also comes with a lot of responsibilities and a lot of challenges, and you also have probably got a lot of people looking up to you at that moment in time, and continuously through the journey. So enjoy where you are and enjoy every moment in life, because that's all we have, our moments, right? Nothing is coming with us to the grave, nothing at all. But what is one thing when I'm on my deathbed that I want to be able to look back and say truthfully that I enjoyed every moment of it? I enjoyed every moment of it because I was present in every moment of it. And that's one thing that not enough of us are, as present in our current emotions. So many of us are trying to escape them. We're trying to, you know, not live in the present because we're not happy. You know, we're not happy. We don't accept where we've brought ourselves enough. We don't take enough responsibility for where we've brought ourselves. But being Irish, being a young entrepreneur and being successful, mentally it can be really hard. You know, mentally it most definitely can be really hard. But I think also that mentally, unless you get yourself to a level beforehand that you're willing to go after this, it's lonely. You know, it is lonely. Time goes fast, and you work a lot. And yeah, there's also so many perks to it, but in the come up phase, a lot of it is going to be hard work, a lot of it. And if you're not willing to endure that hard work, it's not going to come true for you. And like being on sites, like hard work on a building site and hard work running your own business is two complete different things. Because on a building site, if you ain't working, someone's going to come and give out to you. But when you work for yourself, no one is coming to slap you on the ass when you're slacking off. You have to hold yourself to a standard. You have to hold yourself to a certain degree, right? And get a certain amount of output done. You know, you have to be the one to lead, to carry the boats. And if you're not able to do that, if you're not able to hold yourself to a certain standard, then your bubble is going to be burst and the whole ship is going to sink. So one thing I'll say is, ask yourself, do you think you're capable? And if the answer is yeah, man, go all in. Go all in. What have you got to lose? Most people watching this video, right? You're in a situation right now that you'd hate to be in, but you're afraid to take a risk. Why? Why are you afraid to take a risk? Because what's the worst thing that can happen? You'll end up in the situation that you're in right now, this second. You know, one of my friends recently went all in on himself with his fitness coach and backed himself. He's living out in Mallorca now, and I have to say, like, that is the biggest and ballsiest shit you can do. The worst thing that can happen is he ends up where he was, and he realized that. So he made a change in his life. He took responsibility as a man and said, what's the worst thing that happens? I end up back where I was. Exactly. That is the worst thing that can happen. But if you don't at least try, you'll never be able to say, imagine at least never trying. That's sad. That is sad. try, live your life to the fullest. It's the only thing that's going to make you happy, realistically.